Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Cal Kestis is the new protagonist that we have in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's made by Respawn Entertainment. It's coming out later this year in November. And it looks like the main reason that we have Cal as a protagonist, the reason that he is a male, is because Rey is a female. And this is coming from the game director over at Respawn Entertainment, Stig Azuman. He said in a recent interview with Game Informer, yes, we talked about doing an alien creature, we talked about doing different genders. We arrived at where we were because at the time, Rey was kind of the thing for Star Wars, and so it made a lot more sense for us to have a male protagonist. Ultimately, we didn't go with an alien race because we felt like, no pun intended, that would alienate a lot of people. We wanted to make sure that there was a really human connection to the character we have in the game. That's the broader decision of why we did it. Personally, I think it would be really cool to have an alien protagonist. And these are the kind of responses and answers and talks that I want to have with the people at Respawn, with the people who are making Star Wars, on what is the thought process on making these games. And he kind of opens up a little bit more about it on the decision-making process. And I like that. That's what we've, as Star Wars fans, have been wanting for a little bit. And I like his reasoning on why they picked a human character instead of an alien creature, because I do agree that it would, in some ways, alienate the audience. I don't entirely agree with that. I agree with Stig that I think it would be cool to have an alien protagonist. I think that's something they should do in the future. But if you're focusing the game on story only, if the game is meant to tell a story, I do think it's a smarter decision to have a human protagonist, someone that we as humans can relate to, and relate to a little more than we would an alien protagonist. I think that does match up with the story a little more. So I think this game is clearly more focused on story than the past two Star Wars games that we've had from EA, and I think that's a good sign because that's exactly what I personally have been wanting, and I know a lot of other fans have been wanting as well. Let's talk about the choice to make the main lead of this game a male instead of a female. I had a sigh of relief at Star Wars Celebration, at the panel for Jedi Fallen Order, when they announced that it was going to be a guy named Cal, and they announced it was going to be a male. And the reason being is because I knew that since it was a male, there wasn't going to be as much controversy or debate over the character. There still was some. You're never going to satisfy everyone. You can't please everyone. Don't ever think any of these games are going to be perfect all across the board and everyone's going to be happy. It's the internet. Someone's always going to be upset about something. But with the track record that Lucasfilm has at the moment, I think it's a good choice. Because when they announced the sequel trilogy and that the main lead was going to be Rey, everyone was on board. Okay, cool. A female lead, new Star Wars trilogy, let's do it. Then they announced Rogue One was going to have Jyn Erso as a female lead in it. And it was like, okay, another Star Wars movie. It's a spin-off. Sure, let's do it. Then they announced Battlefront 2. And the main lead was going to be Iden Versio, and that's when everybody was like, "Okay, this is getting old, guys." And I think if you would have come out with this game and it was going to be called Jedi Fallen Order, and the main character was going to be another female, that at that point there's no doubt that it's a pattern. It's not a coincidence. It's just them going only for female leads, and there's no problem with female leads. But there is a problem with only female leads, just like there's a problem with only male leads. I mean, there's two of the genders, you gotta pick and choose. Just between those two, flip it every time, and if you want to go to an alien species, great, I don't care. That sounds awesome as well. If you really want to fix this problem, I think you just should make the character your choice. You know, make your own character, and be whatever gender, alien, whatever you want. But that's more of an, RPG, MMO kind of game that you'd have to make, kind of like SWTOR and KOTOR. Hopefully we get that again in the future from Star Wars, but maybe not from Respawn. That doesn't seem likely. But still, this game is making some good decisions, and I think the thought process and the decision behind this of, hey, the main lead for the sequel trilogy is a female, why don't we just make this game's lead a male? I think that's perfectly good reasoning. It's not politically motivated. These games and these stories should be about the stories of Star Wars characters, not about the genders of Star Wars characters and who they sexualize and they identify as or whatever. I just want a good story. Don't make everything so political, and I'm glad that Respawn isn't doing that. They're focusing on the story. They're not focusing on the politics, not focusing on anything else, but making a good game. And that is so nice to hear. It's so hard to come by people who genuinely just want to make something good for Star Wars and for Star Wars fans. So thank you, Respawn. It seems like you're making all the right moves and going in all the right steps towards the right direction. I just pray that everything goes well. Tell me your thoughts below. What do you guys think about Cal being a male instead of a female, mostly due to Rey being a female in the lead of the Star Wars sequel trilogy? Tell me your thoughts below. Do you think this is good news? Do you think it's bad news? And what are your thoughts about the future of the Star Wars franchise after Jedi Fallen Order in terms of video games? What's going to come out after Jedi Fallen Order? I genuinely want to know. Tell me your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. I'll see y'all next time, and may the Force be with you always.